Well, folks, welcome to the Go for Diamond call this evening. This is January 14th, and this evening is the follow-through on our Success Cycle series, which is the very first training after the training called Success Cycle, which envelopes all of the trainings. And this is a very important training because it really envelopes all of the details and share the information that is necessary for a new associate to be oriented on the simple activities and the simple things that they need to be aware of. Sometimes we tend to complicate things and we tend to get into a lot of to talk to new people, and it's really not complicated, and it's not hard at all if you do it in steps and you're properly organized. Now, the reason why you're seeing the Active Team site right now again is because I like to give reference to where you can access everything Tammy and I do. If you go under, for example, videos, right? If you click on videos, and from the videos, there is obviously the opportunity section will be if you click on this big image here. But the trainings that we're doing, we added a new segment called the Go for Diamond call. And the reason for this is a visual call and not just audio. So as you click here, it will take you to a Facebook, a YouTube playlist, and you can see over here that the very first training we did is up, and the second one will be right underneath. Okay, so following up on the second element that I think are important to talk about are the fact is the success cycle. So what we're doing right now has actually been done in the past, and they're listed all over here. So this evening we're doing this training. Now, this training is a little out of date, so obviously I'll have to update this with what we're doing this evening because we've kind of revamped it. And again, I wanted to thank Elaine and Anderson, Scott's wife, who has actually edited this new associate orientation, merged it into a great document, which I felt is very useful, which I think will be wonderful, and I'll share with you in a moment where you can access that. But all the trainings are over here. Again, Ellen, thank you very much for doing this. So these are all the segments that you can actually view. Now, going back on the main site, obviously there's other details you can access over here, but the point I want to share with you is the document section. Under documents, everything Tammy and I do is always saved into our hard drive, and our hard drive is connected to this server that everybody has access to through Active Team. So for example, obviously we're dealing with Canada, USA, you will select that. Obviously you will select English in this particular case, and you will find that all the documents actually, and again I want to thank Lisa from Current.
No, she's from Saskatoon.
Saskatoon, but it's Current. I forgot the name of her city. In Saskatoon and Swift Current. Thank you. Current, yeah. In the area, and she kind of suggested some, kind of how to merge. She suggested me some files to merge in certain directories, and I really appreciated that. Again, so I took her advice, and there's all these directories, and I do recommend for you to visit that. Okay. Familiarize yourself with the details of the documents. Now, for example, if you go to the associate section, there's all the details that had to do with associates. If we go back and we click on, let's see here, I think it's under training, as a matter of fact. If you click under trainings, you'll notice here that you have the new associate orientation. Well, the documents and the PowerPoint that we're going to be sharing has been updated, and it's sitting right here. That's the PowerPoint that I'm doing, Tammy and I are going to be doing, and that is the reference sheet that we're going to be talking about right here. Okay, so it's all there and accessible for you. So this is the reason I want to go through this. I'm not going to go through the entire aspect because obviously there's a lot of details to cover here. And of course, the webinars, you can actually, I'll reference them in a little later, and you can access them over here by selecting this link. When you click on the calendar, all the events in homes that all of the associates in leadership are organizing, they're listed over here. Again, these are tools that are designed to help you promote your event and facilitate organization, or I should say your events. Now, this evening, we're going to be doing here is the new associate orientation. And just before we begin, I wanted to remind you that our kickoff, January 25th, 26th, is coming very rapidly. And the location is at the Sheraton Hotel at 801 Dixon Road. You can actually register for the event on activeteamevent.com. It's singular, activeteam, and then event.com. And it's a free event to attend, but if you do want to have the meal, which I highly recommend, because there's not a lot of time for lunch and you don't want to miss anything, Max is actually paying for half of the bill, and they're charging $20 for people who do want access, who do want to have access to this buffet. But you got to register now. You don't want to wait last second, because I don't know how much space there is available. And I know for the rooms, also the rates at this hotel is around $200 and up, but it's been reduced to $153 if you register ahead of time, and that's prior to the 18th of January. So I recommend that you do not waste any time. As a matter of fact, just to reference here, if you go back to the website, and just to kind of orient you a little bit here, and you go back to the 25th of the event here, 25th over here. Oh, it's actually on my computer. I don't see it here. I'm going to have to fix that. You'll notice that the number to call in is available. For the time being, I'm just going to use my own agenda here. And on the 25th, if you look at the event, the phone number here is 866-932-7058 to register for your room, and the block is under Max International, and that is the rate over here. Okay?
And just so you know, there's a massive car show going on that strip. On that strip is actually, people are booking the hotels. So make sure you get your booking in. You don't want to wait last minute for this.
Yes, this is very, very important. So here you are. So the events have just been added to the actual website, and you can access all of the details over here. So don't wait last minute if you do want to have a room. Now, for those of you that want to stay to Saturday evening, you can actually, they will honor the rate also, but I know that rooms are limited. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of all that. Moving forward to the training this evening, what we want to do is a new associate orientation, and these are the information that you want to relay to your new associate. It's absolutely, absolutely critical. And this particular PowerPoint I was printing out to you earlier, where to access them, is a good PowerPoint for you to maybe even use to train a new associate, or you can go right into the reference sheet, which I'll be referencing in a moment here. Okay, so for the sake of clear visual here, we'll just kind of make it a bit bigger. So what's really important in a new associate is really to understand the difference between being in network marketing versus a job. And folks, the reason why this is here is often people are shy in introducing the industry of network marketing to the general public, and for good reasons. I can appreciate why. I mean, there's a stigma around it, but at the end of the day, it's all about education. And folks, you need to educate yourself on what network marketing is and what it represents. And a great Mark Yarnell, who left us a great legacy, and also GoPro with Eric Worre, right? You can download this book for like $9 through Amazon or Apple, if you're using Apple device with the iBook. So the fact here is that you can access information and educate yourself on the industry of network marketing. Prepare yourself so you can educate your prospect when they look at you sometimes funny because you're introducing an industry that something have a stigma. Again, it's all about education, right? We're dealing in a poor economy, right? And in fact, network marketing thrives in a poor economy. It's really interesting, but it does. And I think the proof is in the pudding when you see what's going on around the world. Right? It just provides better wages for the average person like you and I. And some of you are really educated, and I get that. But I think we're living in a time right now that the economy is shifting very, very quickly, and network marketing is in line to really help the average person and the person who could be very educated and very successful in their career to also consider having a better lifestyle when it comes to time. right? In maintaining the financial lifestyle, right? And the thing is, there's huge tax benefits. Tammy and I have been taking advantage of massive, massive tax benefits by being part of network marketing. Even if you're not making a lot of money, you can for 7 years you can deduct. Even without making any money, you can make deductions on all your expenses that you could justify in building your business. So really, what's important, looking at this industry, looking at this business, is 4 pillars that you really need to build in reference to your belief. And one is the belief in the company. And I think that's pretty easy because our products are so phenomenal, which is number 2, because the science is credible and makes things very simple and easy. The compensation plan, again, folks, maybe it requires for you a bit of a time and experience to understand the value of this compensation plan, but that falls into the network marketing arena. And if your belief is not strong, then of course you will have a lot of resistance when you're sharing. And all of that will come in time, will come with experience, and that's why leveraging from third-party credibility, and we'll touch on that a little bit later, how important that is. And number 4 is your story. Your story is the foundation as to why someone may want to consider this business, because they may relate to your story. Now, it's okay to have a product story, but you also need to have an opportunity story, right? Why are you doing this? Why are you excited about the financial opportunity associated with a wonderful product that can actually make a difference for people?
All right, so the basics, and it's all about thinking big. So you want to master these 3 simple steps. And the number 1 is why. Why are you doing this? Because that's what's going to get you out of bed. It's going to, drive you to build this business on a part-time level. When people are new in this business, they're not going to jump in this business to do 40 hours a week. They're going to jump in this business to go extremely part-time and grow from there. So why? And you want to sit down with your new associate and find out what it is that's going to drive them to do this. And then, of course, you got to set goals. So what do you want out of this? What are the things you want to achieve? If you're going to put these efforts into your business. So what are the goals that you want to set? They could be thing goals, they could be mission goals, goals to, put your kids through better schools. You know what you want. So these are the things that you want to be writing down. Or if you're personally going through the new associate orientation with your brand new person, you want to know these things because you want to help them through the challenging times, because there will be challenging times. Okay, and then of course number 3 is the action. You can have a reason why and you can set your goals, but if you don't take the action, then you're not going to get what you want. So what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What hours are you going to put into it? What are the action steps that you're going to put into it? And that's how you train your people.
Absolutely.
For things to change, you have to change. And that's something that's really stuck on Chris and my mind over the years when we were growing in the industry, because we knew that we had to change and we knew we needed to develop skills as well in getting better in this business.
Absolutely. And this is something that you can really lean on is often when people start looking at this business and you're approaching them and you're training them, often I see too many people walking away from an opportunity that can really change their lives. And it's important that people understand that for things to change, you have to change. We have to change the way we look at things and the way we perceive certain things based on our upbringing or based on a blueprint or based on our personal beliefs. So what's really important here, looking at a new associate orientation, is the to-do lists. Right? Tammy touched on your goals. You need to spend the time to write your why. We emphasize on that because it is absolutely critical. The people who have strong goals, who has a very clear understanding of where they want to be and where they want to do and where they want the financials to be when they retire, they're a lot more driven and committed during the tough times. So what is your why and your goals when it comes to your health, your finances, the legacy that you want to leave behind, right? A significant divine purpose. What is important to you? I understand it's not all about the money, folks. We do live in a society that money ranks right up there with oxygen, but it's not about the money. The money is a tool that will get you to what you want, the lifestyle you want. And you want to instill that in your prospect and your new associates so they can really understand that it's worth it to go through some of the growing pains that we go through in sharing this information. Number two is set your authorship. See, your authorship is the foundation of your business. Too often, I see new associates, oh, I'm just going to start with a package and then I'll get an authorship later. That is the wrong approach. Because if you duplicate that 1,000 times, I assure you that you may have only 10% of the people on authorship. And despite all the work that you've done, most people on authorship, because they don't understand the real value behind the authorship. And the fact is, we have an incredible product, and that's been one of the greatest assets of Max International. Our products are so good and they're so effective that people want to consume it. And that encourages people to consume the authorship long after the excitement of the opportunity. So it's really a balance between the two that I share on a regular basis. Right? And number three is you need to make a written list, a minimum of 100 people. They said that the average people by the age of 20 know 2,000 people by their first name. So the fact is, if you really think about it, 100 people is not all that, it's not that much. But you need to have an inventory, because I assure you that if you only have 5 people on your list and 4 says no, then what do you do? And often this is why people get discouraged, because they feel, well, that's all I have. But no, it's not all you have. There's so much more than that. Right? Number 4 is schedule your first in-home presentation or one-on-one. Get into action. As Tammy stated earlier, get into action. Start sharing. Meet people. And always have people in the pipeline. We'll touch on that a little later. Right? Get connected. You know, Tammy and I have different groups. We have a group called Canada USA. Folks, if you happen to be in North America, you want to be connected. Now, obviously, some of you have different groups, and this is totally cool. As long as the leader is connected on Active Team, or let me rephrase that, on the Canada USA group, then you can get the information firsthand down to your organization. And that is totally cool. But make sure that your team is not blindsided, right? If you happen to maybe not as active on, for example, WhatsApp or sharing information, you may want your team or your team leaders to be plugged into the source also, so they don't need to depend on you and wait on you to post something for them to be aware of what's going on. So get connected on Active Team. Get connected on max.com. Right? And number 6 is you need to attend the training calls. And I congratulate all of you for attending the training this evening. Right? So what's going on here, the new associate orientation is critical. It's absolutely critical for a new associate to begin and to know, okay, what do I need to do for me to start my business?
And number 7, you want to view the success cycle modules where Chris shared with you. It's actually located, you can go to activeteamtraining.com or activeteam.com and click on the documents, and you're able to find that, which Chris shared with you in the files. Number 8 is to acquire business tools. And you want to be able to access the webinars, which are promoted through the WhatsApp groups. And also on the Active Team calendar, it's promoted. You want to make sure that you have enough product in your hands to do business. Don't go out a day without walking out with products, because you never know who you're going to meet on your journey that day. Okay, so always be open for business. Have stuff in your purse, ladies, guys, wherever you want to put it. If you're carrying a briefcase, it's something that you want to have with you. Obviously, technology today is required to be in business. I think most people today, that's not a problem in North America. But I was just chatting with the lady that was asking for brochures. I mean, some people are really connected to that.
Yeah, over here, we talked about this. forgot about that.
Sorry about that. Chris is always clicking buttons. And of course, professional voicemails, very important. I think a lot of people overlook this stuff. Three-way calling, learn how to do three-way calling. And also get a good long-distance plan. I think nowadays it's pretty simple to get good plans because there's so much competition out there. And then the WhatsApp. Obviously, you want to make sure you're downloaded on the WhatsApp platforms. There's so many great platforms to be part of. You'll have your own team platforms, plus the Canada-US group. We have a Strong Max Women platform now, and I have a training program called the Max Breakthrough. That also has a platform. So make sure you're connected with a platform. And I just want to say one thing about that. Don't get overwhelmed if you see a bunch of messages. Just scroll up. You don't have to read everything. Don't worry about it. You know, the most important thing is staying connected to events and stuff that are going on that you can benefit from. Go to www.mymaxpays.com. You want to activate to collect your commissions. Most people do that as soon as you get your first income. You're going to get an email that's going to tell you you've got money sitting in your virtual office, so you can go in and activate that and get your first paycheck. All right, so number 10 is connect with your leader and support team. This is critical. Network marketing is about team, working together, not by yourself. You're in business with a team, so always remember that. Leverage and ask for help. 11 is understand the core business strategy, which Chris is going to go through with you on the prime bonus, because that's how we drive this business model. We keep everything really simple. We want to make sure that the brand new people can do this as quick as possible so that they can start duplicating as quick as possible. Number 12 is to learn to enroll new associates and or new customers. That's one thing that I do every single time I do a new associate orientation with a person that I personally sign up. I get them connected to their website, their virtual office, walk them through some simple basics, and to make it easy for them to get started.
Now, if you shift on the right here, and let me just increase that a little bit so we can have a better view. Every time someone signs up with the Active Team email, they will receive a welcome letter. In that welcome letter, you will have an attachment, and this is the attachment that they will receive, right? And it kind of walks them through with some great information to begin, including some approaches and some of the science video, for example, some of the video that are important to begin, for example, the Why Trade Time for Money and the Max Science video, which are actually listed here. And in fact, these are hyperlinks that when people click on the actual file, it'll take them right to the video that it can go ahead, and it gives them a bit of an overview of what to do with these video, right? And what to say, and give them suggestions, right? And again, all the details that we were talking about here, and we'll talk about the prime bonus in a moment, which is very important for people to understand the basics and where to access the information. Tammy talked about, you know, WhatsApp and the Max Pay, and the links are right here in the document, right? And what's very important, looking at the Summary for Success again, is it's an approach that gives people the steps. Talk to people, learn and grow daily. Speak to your mentor multiple times a week. You know what I mean? The connection is absolutely critical, right? And all the resources are over here, right? And these are all the websites that people should be aware of. Another thing that's also important is YouTube. And familiarize yourselves with all the video that Max International has available within the context of YouTube. All the training calls are over here with the phone numbers and the times, the link for the actual webinar, which you can also access on Active Team, the times of the conference calls, and also all the details, for example, looking here on how to log in and how to install the app and where to access it. Everything is here, right? And it goes on. So all the information is there. How to enroll an associate, and it goes through the steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, 4, and 5, and so forth. And it carries on how to enroll a preferred customer or a customer, right? And all the way down to activating your max pay, and here are the steps. They're all here. And then the details for the North American office is over here. So this is very, very, very important. Again, that you kind of orient your team members on what's going on, so where they can access the information. This is critical, and you find that if you start doing that, but most importantly, if you duplicate those activities, that's when your organization will grow. And that's what's missing often. Often people will actually, kind of involve people into the business, and they leave them there, right? They wait for them to get their packages. No. Don't wait for them to get their package. Get right away, put them into a new associate orientation, and make sure that they familiarize themselves with the steps that they need to start, right? And as they are described over here. Now, one of the things that's very important here is the prime bonus. This, if there's one thing you want them to understand and to learn, is that, which is listed over here. So if everybody in your, think about it, if everybody in your team who have enrolled would actually do this particular step of enrolling 5 people. I know the compensation plan states that you need a minimum of 3, but you need 500 CV. And so, of course, this can easily be topped up with their own personal customers to get the total of what's missing. But what we teach is go get 5 people. Get 5 people that are consuming 100 CV on a monthly basis. The very first month, most of the time, they will get a package. We recommend the Momentum Pack because of the value of the Momentum Pack. But at the end of the day, on a monthly basis, as they consume their 100 CV consumption products, this is what, over time, when your business expands, will create a wonderful, incredible residual for you. And people will want to continue using the products, not just because they want to be active and get paid, but because they understand the value of what these products can do. And that's the reason why events such as the kickoff that's going to be in Toronto on the 25th, 26th is important. And there's many other events, and there's webinars that we haven't mentioned much here, but the webinars are very important. This is a way for you to get someone to look at the opportunity from the comfort of their home, especially in Canada when it's cold, right? Or wherever you are, where there's winters, and sometimes winters are severe, and it's not pleasant for people to attend or to go to events. So these webinars are perfect for that, or if they happen to be long distance. So what's important here in conclusion, as we finish the call, folks, is to be successful in this kind of business, you need to talk to people on a daily basis. It's important that you do this business step by step, but you do not stop. Often what Tammy and I see and recognize is people begin, they get great momentum, and they get distracted and they stop. And then they come back again a month later or 2 months later, and they start again. And then they stop, and they start, and they stop, and they start, and they stop. Think of a plane that's trying to take off, and every single time it's actually stopping, it's never going to take off. It's never going to take off because it's never fast enough to get into momentum to fly, to basically have the momentum to lift the weight off the ground to get in the air. Well, the business is a lot like that, and you need to go through the process. So often you're going to meet people, you're going to talk to people, and some people are not going to be all that friendly and all that excited about the opportunity because they don't know what it is. They don't fully understand what it is. And because of that, they tend to step back a little bit and sometimes even say things that may kind of set you back a little bit. And again, it's all about posture, education. And the more often you do this and the more you do it, the more experienced you become and the better results you will eventually get, right? And so you need to learn to grow, and you need to grow daily. Speak to your mentor, especially someone who has experience and has success in this kind of business, because they'll share a lot of insights that I assure you that someone who has success in this kind of business, I guarantee you they've been through some tough times, and they can share with you what has been going on, right? Read your WhatsApp messages regularly. Very important, right? Visit your back office daily. Not once a month or once a week, but daily. See what's going on in your organization. Attend events. Build relationship with other Max associates so you can learn from them, right? And very important is you have to do your authorship, as stated earlier, on the very first week of the month. But above all, folks, never quit. If you quit, then you go back to where you are or where you were, and at that point, where you are may not be what you're looking for. So the fact is that if you quit, you're kind of stopping the map, the road, the direction that you're taking that can take you to a whole new lifestyle that could be absolutely wonderful. So don't quit, right? Just go through the process and trust the process. It works. What we share with you works. So folks, this is the end of the session this evening. Next week, we're going to be doing your personal why. This is going to be, again, at the same time in the following week. We hope that you're going to be joining us. And again, we want to thank you for attending this webinar. And I want to remind you that Tammy has some great calls this evening. So feel free to join into these calls. So folks, listen, have yourself a wonderful evening. I want to thank you for attending and certainly look forward to share with you on a weekly basis. So have yourself a wonderful evening. Bye for now.